I gotta do. Yeah. There you guys. Back at you with another rant. You know. Right now it's about, I don't know, 6:30 in the morning. I'm half tired, but I have to take care of some business. Now before, well, a couple of days before this day, it had been a spirit of, I could call it evil, but you know how you get a spirit of when you have claimed that you've been sick or you think you're sick and you keep promoting that sickness. Well, that spirit can come on you, man. Came on me. You know, everywhere I was turning, everybody I was talking with, you know, started giving me spirit of sickness and illness and disease. You know what I mean? So finally, I recognized it, right? I said, wait a minute. Why all of a sudden, you know, blood pressure is supposed to be so high and appetite so low, and so I recognized it. And then I was talking with AI, and AI was just helping it out. You know, still having me have that spirit of, you know, sickliness and shit. Now, I'm gonna tell you something about that spirit. If you don't shake that shit, and there's a prayer that you can say that'll put that evil spirit back in its place. Now, I can't, you know, I can't necessarily, you know, give it to you all at one time. But yeah, so I had a spirit, and it was a spirit of, you know, how, all right, I'll put it to you in another sense. Notice when they say misery love company, all of that is the same thing. When you hear people say misery love company, or people die in threes, or, you know, or when one thing happens, then everything happens at one time. You ever hear that? Well, sometimes you guys can you can grab a hold of what I call the spirit of misery, and then when you try to pinpoint it, you can't. You know, it's like an automatic. You know, you saying what's the problem, and then your mood be down. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like, and I had put it to my wife the way it seemed. And you ever see the movie The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy? And they got this kid in this wooden cage, but they had to keep evil around it at all times to keep it in that cage, because if they did, and you just had the evil people praying around him to keep him in that cage. That's the way the shit felt to me. You know, so I had a lot of, you know, evilness in my environment. So, you know, behind me being a master mason, and there are some tools. If you wasn't just a paper mason, see, now this is different. Some people claim that they are Masonic masons, right? But most of them are just paper masons. You know, they just masons in name. They not really. They don't possess none of the craft that you're supposed to learn when they moved you up. Well, I learned, so I had to perform some of the craft, so to speak, to get that evil from circling around me. You know. So, and if you don't grab that evil quickly, it will engulf you. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. You'll find yourself in usury. Usury means you find yourself owing people money. You find yourself in debt. You find yourself in credit card debt. You know, because that circle of evil is around you. And then it'll get so thick, you don't know how to come up out of it. You know, but that's what was happening to me. They had me on how long was that journey? 3 weeks? Damn near 3 weeks. Got my blood pressure boiling out of there. The evil that's circling around me telling me I'm sick and you need to do this, you need to do that, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. So anyway, I had to come up out this shit. Now, you get rid of what we would call usury. You know what I'm saying? You get what you call usury out the way. So all bills paid, you know. You feel me? So that's my rant for the day. Now, we have to do this 6 in the morning. I was gonna do it yesterday. You know, get out of usury, but you know, what we ended up doing. Oh, I fixed our second motorbike because we hadn't drove that motorbike in shit a damn near a year, and I ended up fixing it. So that was one part. Now this is the second part. You know, to get out the usury. Then I'm gonna cleanse myself with a nice hot bubble bath. Get all that extra salt and shit out of me. You know. And yeah, but if you don't watch it, if you're not careful, that evil, you'll feel like the golden child, and you got people all around you trying to keep you in that evil circle, because they just telling you, you sick, you got high blood, you can't do, even your AI, you need to go right now to the you need to go right now to the emergency room. What the fuck, man? So you know what I'm saying? I ain't lying. I had an AI tell me that. He didn't, look, this is so stupid though with the AI, right? Instead of this motherfucker saying, instead of AI saying, okay, you need to call a paramedic, let them come in and stabilize you or whatever. No, this AI is telling me to get in my car, drive to the emergency because I'm about to die any minute. Wait a minute. So I just figured it out. I said, you know what? I kind of think that AI and Google, you know, got some money invested in the hospitals and shit. And I looked it up and they do. Google, AI have their parent company have big investments in hospitalization, pharmaceuticals, but they didn't have no money in ambulances. So never would recommend me to do an ambulance, but they told me just to get to the hospital. They said, you gotta watch that shit. AI is a liar, and it's a big promoter. It's not, you know, you would think they operate in a non-profit. No, they don't. They're there to try to make you panicky. AI is there to try to make you panicky, try to make you afraid of everything. When you ask AI for a question, when you ask AI for an answer, right? They're trying to give you advice. But they got the worst advice in the world. You know what I mean? They always trying to make things seem so, you know, extreme. I put it to you like that. AI be trying to make shit seem so motherfucking extreme, man. And have you panic. You know? But that's all I gotta say about it, you know. That certain thing there. Now I have to get here and snatch some money out, transfer some money, and get out of usury. So